coming out. And a special thanks to Dad's old friends, Bill and Joanne and Connie and Henry. Thank you so much for coming out. John, for coming all the way down from New York. Thank you very much. And John almost gets the prize for coming all the way down from New York City, but of course is trumped, of course, by Tony, who always takes the prize for coming from not even Khartoum, but El Fasher, Sudan, Tom. And thank you so much for coming out. Welcome, Tom.
From the
So,
you came from there too?
And Dad, of course, has come all. Dad has come all the way from Winchester, England. Well done.
4,000 miles.
4,000 miles.
Via Scotland.
Economy class. It's god awful too, isn't it?
Dad has suffered to be here, but we're grateful that he is.
Get him to tell you about the lines he had to stand in.
I know, the lions. They were
Those lines are awful. Yeah.
They were bad.
When he goes back with a jalabia, they won't let him on the plane.
All right, enough. Old school enough.
They're always shutting us up.
They're waiting for us to die.
Let's do it now.
I'm going to be very brief because and let the two professional talkers in the family, Tony, my sister, the lawyer, and Dad, the professor, talk longer later on. But I'm just going to be very brief. And there was a very notable book published by a very distinguished press last year that is titled, and I know you all know it, Dominic St. John Mulvey.
Right on.
Yeah. That's right. And it's published by the Escort Press, very notable and distinguished press. It was written about my grandfather, Dominic St. John Mulvey.
Oh, dumb.
London Irishman.
Grandfather or great-grandfather?
My grandfather.
His grandfather.
My grandfather. I know Bill remembers.
Great guy.
John, you probably did you ever meet?
I knew him very well. He's a good man.
Connie, did you ever meet Grandpa Dominic?
I did. I stayed at the house.
Connie, you at least know of him.
Father and I did.
Okay.
I met him.
Okay, good.
He was a classic Englishman.
Well, a classic
He was.
London Irishman.
Well, that's what they like to say, but in fact,
Henry.
they worn the green down.
Anyway,
Later, Henry.
A notable book last year came out about my grandfather, and interestingly, it was authored by my father, and it was published by the Escort Press, which, interestingly or coincidentally, is also owned and operated by my father. There's a small.
I sent it immediately.
Yeah. All the royalties. Anyway.
It doesn't show up on Amazon.
Well, no, actually, Henry, you're wrong. It is on Amazon.
I was going to say, I viewed it on Amazon.
I looked for all his publications. All I could find was that one for $45 that somebody
Well, if you went,
$1.99.
if you bought just a copy tomorrow, it would ship 10,000 places. That's not true, by the way.
Not a very
Anyway, there's just a small passage that I wanted to read to you. It's
great.
It's on page 3, but I actually did finish the whole thing.
The whole page.
Book jacket, I'm
Or the
sure.
paragraph.
An extraordinary man in. No, hold on. All right. Mulvey, in quotes. Mulvey was a name above other names for my father. This is my grandfather. Mulvey was a name above other names for my father. He uttered it with emphasis, with a pulling back of the shoulders and a squaring of the chest.
Yep.
We had one high king in the family, said Brendan Mulvey, Dominic's cousin. That would be my great
Uncle.
We had one high king in the family, said Brendan Mulvey, Dominic's cousin, talking in Dublin in 1995. And during his entire reign, the whole country was peaceful and prosperous. So there is nothing to write about it. The rule of Mulvey, the high king of all Ireland, is to be likened to that of the Gideon of Israel following the defeat of the Midianites.
He's always tossing off these obscure references.
Right? Quote, and the country was in quietness for 40 years.
Professor.
This discreet admission that nothing whatsoever is known about the High King Mulvey reflects the sense of humor that the High King's family shares.
We're seeing great signs of it in this paragraph.
Close for our veins.
The unknown king.
Now, when I read that, and if you do order this on Amazon.com tomorrow and read it, and it's a very, very good read. When I read that the fact that the rule of the Mulveys in 650 AD in Westmeath was so good and so beneficial to the people of Ireland that for 40 years it was so peaceful and prosperous that no one bothered to write about it, I just found it very, very funny. And I'm glad you all did. This is obviously father to son.
People only write about wars and
We think it's funny,
things,
Jules.
And so, anyway, tonight on my dad's 65th birthday, I would say, Dad, the High King of the Mulveys, long live the King, happy birthday.
Ching ching.
Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding.
To the king.
To the kings.
I will respond at length, but I told him to wait till later.
How uncharacteristic.
I've got a couple of hours of material.
Waiting for the harpist to arrive. Scene, right?
No, we haven't died yet, Bill.
I can't get started
We're working
on it
on it
now.
That's